Welcome to the Circle Grace One. I'm your host, Chief Principal Teacher and Founder, Bishop Francis E. Revels Bay, and I'm back with giving some more information that I was talking about this morning on my live webcast number 145 for Decree and It Shall Be. Many of you know every Wednesday morning I come on and I give basically free webinars in the morning and in the evening. Decree and It Shall be back on tonight for live webcast number 146 for Wednesday, August the 10th, 2011. Decree and It Shall Be talks about the science and the art of prayers, affirmations, meditations, and decrees. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to give some of the highlights and have it here, placed here, and put it up over here on YouTube. Now you see the lighting changing. It's the sunlight light here in the studio. Just can't get that overhead light yet to work just right. But one of the things I want to mention, and the reason why I'm giving these highlights is because sometime in the broadcasting here with this iPad 2, the connection between my iPad and the server cuts a little bit, and sometimes you'll have to kind of maneuver around on your equipment to get it to go all the way through, but it's been recorded there. And I did about 73 minutes broadcast this morning. And I just put up a random broadcast file for this morning, this afternoon at about 3:30 p.m. So I'm about 4:17 p.m. right now, and I want to give you another tidbit about live webcast number 145, which I talked about dream symbolism. Now, one of the things I mentioned also this morning was that people always ask, how can they determine, what kind of dream are they having? Are they really experiencing the dream, or are they just seeing it like a movie? Now, one of the things that does happen when people see the dream as if it's like a movie, what happens is you just see yourself. You see yourself from your head to your toes. You see your arms. You can see yourself turn around as if you're on a movie screen. So that's more like a dream, and that's more one that becomes more a little bit like a symbolic dream. Now, the other kind of dream is where you're feeling the emotional energy behind it and the mental energy behind it and the spiritual energy behind it is when you are in what I call your dream body. Now, what's your dream body? It's just like you in your material body. In your material body, you necessarily do not see your face, right? You just can look down and see your chest, your abdominal frame, your hips, your legs, your arms, your feet. You don't see your back unless you're standing where you can get a good reflection of yourself, or maybe you're looking at a mirror, a trisectional mirror, which you can turn around and then see your body. So that's how you know that you're in your dream body. Then I also mentioned about lucid dreaming. Now, lucid dreaming isn't my term. Lucid dreaming was developed around in the early 70s, mid-70s, late 70s, and as far back as the 60s, with a gentleman by the name of Stephan LaBerge. And Stephan LaBerge, he was from California, and he did a lot of dream research. And this is where I talked about rapid eye movement. He also had went into that too. And lucid dreaming is when, while you are asleep, you wake up within the dream. Your body is still at rest. You're still sleeping. If someone was sleeping next to you, they would see that you're still asleep. They would see the eyelids and the eyes dart underneath the eyelid, and they see the eyes flicker. Now, what's very unique is that in a lucid dream, you would realize that there's something in the dream that lets you know that it's not real. It's not a part of reality. So one of the examples that I gave was when I was, in college, I had this dream, okay? And it wasn't a reoccurring dream, but I had this dream where I was in this city. I knew everybody in the city and the town. I was out for a stroll. I could see people going to work, going to school, and I was in search of myself. That's what I was doing in those days, being in college back in the 70s. And I was in search of myself, and I was asking people, did you see this? Do you know where to find this? I was looking for pieces that were connected to myself, parts of my personality, my characteristic traits, part of my spiritual development, things I was looking that was connecting with myself. And what happened was I was able to walk, and I was hearing this sound, sort of like the kind of sound you hear when there's a construction truck on the street and it's digging into the pavement. Okay, it's digging into the street itself. You know, that hard sound between metal and asphalt, metal and rock and stone and dirt and so forth. And I would look around. I looked behind me. I didn't see anything. And so I was walking, though, not necessarily per se on the sidewalk. I was like kind of on the sidewalk, kind of in the street. Traffic going by, people. And then I looked ahead. As I came to an intersection, there were these people there, and they were like astonished. So when I got to the intersection, what I saw was a huge boat, a little smaller than a cruise ship, but much bigger than a yacht. Okay, and this boat, this ship, had an image of me on the ship doing something that was very exciting, something that I wanted to do. And that part of myself was like looking at myself in the future, because I could see that I was older. Here, at that time when I was having this lucid dream, I was about 19 years old. So, 19, that's about 1971. So here I am, 1971, springtime, having this dream. And I knew I was in my dream body, because I was studying dreams back then. So I was in my dream body. I could not see my face unless I looked in a mirror and saw a reflection of my head on my body, but I could see everything else. So I, came to this intersection, I looked, and here comes this huge cruise ship, smaller than a cruise ship, much bigger than a yacht. And it had people on there, and then I saw myself, but I saw myself like in the future, because I looked much older. In fact, I look like I am now. So, and I've been on boats before, so I've been on boats, a lot, as far as I can go back. I was on boats with people who were artists. I was on boats with parties, on boats with people, and people were like, photographers, the painters. And in college, I was an art major, so I saw myself on this boat, there with people, and I could tell I was an artist, a well-known artist, because I was doing something that I that was a part of me, and I was mingling with these people, and we were getting along, but I didn't know of the people. So at the same time now, waking up in that dream, I knew that was a lucid dream, because in my real life, I would not see a boat cutting through the pavement on the street, making that kind of sound, actually cutting, just like if it was the water was if the boat was in the water and splitting up the waves. But here it was making that sound, cutting up the street. Now, street is a pathway. So I would take it that, well, maybe along the way I might have some uphill climbs, some difficulties along my path, but I was going to cut a path. I was going to cut through this street. I was going to have help, because obviously there were people, men and women on this boat that I was getting along with. So I knew that they would help me out. Now, another thing that happens in dreams is that here we're in our dream body. There's something that's called repetitive dreams. Now, repetitive dreams are something you should really pay a lot of attention to. One, you want to pay attention to how long, the dreams are. And in terms of not just time, but the length of days when you have the dream. Like if you had the dream on a Monday, did you have it the following Monday? Or did you have it 2 weeks from now? Or did you have it 3 weeks from now? I mentioned this morning that sometimes I had dreams that were occurring every 52 days. I knew it was dramatic, a problem, an issue coming up every 43 days. And then the dreams started coming frequently, like every other night, then every night. And when something is repetitive and it's happening the same exact way, that's letting you know that there's something that needs to be changed in your life. There's something that you need to do to change the conditions, the outcome, maybe what you're doing, how you present yourself to other people. So this is something that I wanted to bring up for you. I'm just checking my time here. This is something I wanted to bring up and mention about the different highlights and things that we experience in dreams. Well, this is the Circle of Grace 1, founded July 2nd, 1999 A.D., under the aegis and the anointing of the Angel of Grace through Divine Providence. It's 12 years old, been online since 11/2/2008, broadcasting weekly, and now we're up to nine live webcasts on twice on a Wednesday, 11 a.m. and about 6:30 p.m. right here for Ustream.tv, channel for the Circle of Grace 1. I'm Bishop Francis E. Revels Bay. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we're alive and well in the age of remembrance. And if you need to contact me, email me at iam.circleofgrace1@yahoo.com, Bishop Francis at circlegrace1.net. Always have that number 1 there with Circle Grace 1. You can also call me on my Skype number, 973-685-5978. Listen to a multi-purpose decree at 505-717-4722, or call my Circle Grace 1 mobile number, 908-878-2978. Call that last number Monday through Thursday only between 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. God bless, and remember that divine grace is a blessing as we're alive and well in the age of remembrance.